Well, come on in, Z Lynch. Sorry. You're scared? Come on, man. You played to like thousands of people. This should be nothing.
Hello. True. Nah, I mean, for some reason that's not as weird.
Really? The fact that thousands of people, I mean, you'll probably get like 5 people looking at you now.
5?
Yeah. Because that's how these things go. We just sit here and chat, and then all of a sudden, the magic happens, and the world gets to hear our conversations. Because that's how YouTube works.
Yeah. Do you do it live or do you? Record?
No, we're just recording right now. So I'll take the video and then I'll chop it up into clips, as you've probably seen. And then so this has just been a work in progress, and I don't know. I don't ever get to chat with you guys ever.
Yeah.
Musicians in general, because I leave after the show because I got to go, do the editing aspect of things.
That's right.
So this is just a way for me to talk shit to you guys and find out about your life. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Nice.
So I remember last time we had a conversation, we were in a studio in Bastrop, and there was a lot of sweet nothing going on.
That was the Sweet Nothing days, okay. Man, when was that?
I was trying to pin a year on that, and I have that video somewhere, but it's been a minute. And then I don't know how this came up, but this is a long-winded story, so bear with me.
Yeah.
I really got into Deer Tick around 2016 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Black Dirt Sessions was my favorite album at the time, and I'm like, oh man, this is great. And then I stumbled upon the album, or the band Middle Brother, which is an assortment of really talented musicians. Taylor Goldschmidt from Dawes, and then Matthew Logan Vasquez. And 2 years after, like, just playing that album, I discovered that he was playing at Armadillo Den right down south from here.
Vasquez was?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This was for, I think, Jam in the Van was doing an event right there.
Was I playing that show?
Well, hold on. We'll get to that point. Me and my buddy Sal, he was in town, I believe, or we were just hanging out. And I'm like, dude, there's some free music down south by me. You should go check it out. Mm-hmm. Sure enough, we did. And we get there, and Matthew's playing. And then we see this gentleman on the bass. And I'm like, dude, I think I know that guy. I forgot his name, but I remember seeing it. And he goes, I think that's one of Evan's friends. He used to play in a band with Evan. I go, yeah, but what's his name? And I think I stumbled upon, I was going through letters. Is it G? Is it T? And then I'm like, I think it's Z. I'm going to yell out Z and see what he does. And we were already, we had some beers in us. And I'm like, Z. And he looked at us. And I'm like, yep, that's his name.
Oh,
all right.
Man.
So long story short, Here we are.
I love that. Here we are. Now I'm in your garage.
Yeah, now you're in my garage, which has also been a work in progress. And yeah.
Yeah. I like the space.
No, thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
Last year was very beneficial in my business, so I decided to dump all of my savings into this space because we needed to free up a spare bedroom because you can't put people in the garage. It's too hot in here. So I put myself in the garage. And
it feels good in here. You got
the mini split.
The mini split. I like that. Yeah.
I can't work in here. I do all my editing and obviously podcasting here, but I couldn't do it without that mini split. It's just too damn hot.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's up with you, man?
Oh man,
Mr. Big Time, Mr. Big Shot, touring all over the world.
I don't know about that. Are the audio levels good?
Yeah.
Am I sitting in a good spot?
Maybe you're just like, talk to me.
Too loud?
Yeah. Well, you're eating the mic, which is you're supposed to do.
Should I eat the mic? Or
No.
Eat the mic?
A lot of people when they come in here, they're just so far off, and I have to make the adjustment.
Gain it up.
And I don't. So you're a seasoned veteran. You know what you're doing.
Well, whatever's good for you.
No, it's whatever's good for you. So, but yeah, talk to me about where you've been this past, was it spring? Yeah, it was a spring tour, right?
Yeah, what is it? It's July.
It is July 3rd.
Wow.
Almost
weird.
July 4th, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow's July 4th, big day.
It is. A lot of boom's going to happen at night.
Yes.
Aside from that.
I've been good, man. I've been busy. Been on the road with Dawes and kind of wrapped up a tour for their latest record, Oh Brother.
Right on.
And I think the last show was the end of April for the kind of the album cycle tour. And now
I was just bugging you. Hey, dude, when can you come do a podcast? Please come do my podcast.
True,
please,
and I was out of town. Wasn't blowing you off.
No,
Here I am.
You were busy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was excited to see all the photos from that tour, and you got to brush elbows with the one they call Jack White, right?
Yes, man. We had
Dude, how cool is that?
Man, we had some great shows last year. Great moments and awesome moments for me, and it's been really fun to play with those guys and tour with them, and they're all just like amazing musicians. And
I bet.
Yeah, it was crazy. We were the kind of like the house band for Conan at Newport, and
no big deal.
So a lot of great guests, Nick Lowe, Jack White, Brittany Howard, and among others, Nathaniel, and that was definitely a highlight.
Was he night sweating?
He was night sweating. He did an awesome version of Everybody's Talking, Harry Nilsson. Man. So I've had a lot of great moments with Dawes, and now we're just kind of in festival season and doing a lot of one-offs and fly dates and festivals and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I've the way I kind of do these things, I like to take it back to once you first started.
Sure.
So when I first met you in the Sweet Nothing, you were playing drums.
I was playing drums. Yeah.
Was that your first instrument?
Drums was my first. Yeah.
How annoying was that to your parents?
It probably was pretty annoying, but they supported me. I was, playing in the garage like this and being loud and disturbing the neighborhood. But yeah, drums was kind of my first instrument, and I had a band called The Steps when I was like 15, 16, 17, and that kind of got me started. We started touring when I was 16, 17, and
wow.
Just kind of
you were touring at 16 and 17.
Yeah,
17 years old. You could barely drive the van.
That's right. I think we did our first. It was like a small kind of run in the States. I think I was maybe 16. Some of the other guys were maybe 17, 18. And then we played ACL in 2007 and 2008. Still in high school. No
big deal.
Still in high school. So yeah, I was playing drums in that band, The Steps, and it's kind of how I got my start playing professionally, I guess. We had a lot of good opportunities, and we're doing cool stuff. We went to England for a tour in 2007.
What?
We went to Japan in 2008
Holy smokes.
to support a record out there, and it is weird. Drums was kind of my thing for a long time.
Yeah.
And around that time is where I met Evan and Chris Ritchie and some of the other friends that I have now. And because Evan was in a band called The Days when I was in the Steps.
That was the band I was trying to think of before this podcast. What was the other band? He's been in a lot of them. But okay, The Days, that's right.
Yeah. So I was in the Steps. Evan was in The Days. And we had kind of met around then. And I don't know if we were like rivals at first. Maybe that's what I thought, because we were really competitive.
Just competing
teenagers.
Artists. Sure, yeah.
That's kind of where our friendship began. And then after that band kind of stopped, Evan and I kind of joined forces and started the Sweet Nothing.
Yeah, it was an awesome band too. Really love the music that you put out. And now I'm excited about The Letdown.
The Letdown,
Holy smokes, man. You guys are just really hitting on all this nostalgic tunes that I grew up listening to. And I'm like, I really love it. So I'm really excited about your upcoming concert, the 26th.
Yeah,
right?
July
Saturday?
26th at Hole in the Wall, right?
Yeah. Is that a part of the Hot Summer Nights? Because I know it's that's kind of going on the same thing.
I don't know.
Probably, okay.
Is that
different.
only on like Red River stuff? Or?
It's on Red River, but I guess, I don't know. Maybe they would lump it in. Either way.
Maybe it's
I'm
not
excited.
officially Hot Summer Nights, but it will be a hot summer night.
I'm going to step away from the Hot Summer Nights and go into the cool setting of Hole in the Wall.
There you go. I love Hole in the Wall.
So when did you start slapping the bass? I'm sorry.
No slapping. I never slap. Maybe I should.
You should. It's fun, I've heard.
When did I start playing bass? Maybe in like 2013. Okay. Yeah, because I was playing drums from like 16 to 20, or maybe even, I don't know when the Sweet Nothing was, like maybe 2012.
We were all so young. How old are you right now?
I'm 35.
Okay, I'm 37. So we're probably, I was 25, 26 maybe?
Yeah, so
that was over a decade
over
ago.
10 years ago, which is insane. So yeah, I was playing drums from like 16 to maybe 22, or maybe even 23. into the Sweet Nothing, and then for some reason I started playing bass, like maybe in 2013. I don't know. I felt like I wanted to, like, maybe I was tired of loading my drums in and out.
Yeah.
And I maybe wanted to stand up and like play notes instead of just hitting stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just started playing bass and it was really fun. And I feel like it came kind of naturally to me.
Okay.
And I was playing guitar too and always enjoyed playing guitar, but I feel like bass feels like a nice in between, like drums rhythmically and like playing. You know.
At the time, were you learning to read music? Were you doing I think it's called like Nashville count, or what's it called?
Oh, the Nashville number system. I wasn't really reading music.
Okay.
But yeah, I actually was kind of learning the number system and
right.
making charts and stuff.
Yeah.
And, and then I realized I felt like I could, by playing bass, could kind of like do more things or play with more different people or different genres more easily than drums.
It was more versatile.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
I felt like I'm an okay drummer, but I feel like I'm kind of just down the middle, like rock drums.
You were more than an okay drummer, from what
Thank you.
From what I remember. Okay.
But I felt like, you know, if I were to do sessions as a drummer, I'd have a harder time like doing different styles and different genres. But I felt like with bass, I could do that more easily and
sure
do different things, play with different artists, and I kind of just wanted after playing in the Steps and playing in the Sweet Nothing, I kind of wanted to just do whatever I could to, you know, continue making music and make a living playing music and stuff. And yeah.
When was the first, I guess, job or moment that you realized, man, I can pay the bills doing this career, being this artiste? Or was there a specific moment?
Well, with the Steps, like I said, we like played ACL and went to the UK, went to Japan. So I feel like I got a taste for like how to do music professionally and you know, do things the right way. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
When you were starting to play music, what were your parents thinking at the time? Do you ever talk to them about that?
They've always been supportive, of course.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I ask that question to other musicians, they're like, yeah, they've always been supportive. I think every parent has a little concern for the livelihood of their child, making sure that they can, you know, take care of themselves financially.
Yeah.
Was there any concern from your parents?
I'm sure there was some concern.
They just didn't voice it.
Yeah, they've always been very supportive, and maybe it's because we were, even for our age, like doing some pretty legitimate things, and we had a good manager and stuff like that.
I mean, that's kind of I would, as a parent, like if my son was playing ACL, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's probably gonna be able to support himself if especially at 16, 17. So
right.
What did they do for a living?
My dad, we moved here in the year 2000 because my dad got a job at Dell.
Oh, okay.
Which is like a classic 2000s Austin story, maybe.
Where were you guys coming from?
From Florida.
Oh, okay.
I was born in Florida, St. Petersburg, and then we lived in Gainesville for a little bit, home of Tom Petty, of course.
Nice.
And I moved here when I was 10 in 2000.
Okay. And then what kind of, do you come from a musical family?
Yeah, music was always on, and I feel like there was a lot of Beatles and Bob Marley playing. But my mom and dad aren't professional musicians or anything.
Sure,
they weren't. But yeah, it was always there, and yeah, I have to thank them for that.
What kind of gave you the idea to, man, I really want to play the drums?
Oh man, am I talking?
No, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, it's just I'm paranoid because
I don't want to overdo.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's just like like I said, this is the most important podcast of my entire life, and I don't want this to because sometimes this cord will pop out.
Okay.
And that's the battery source.
Yeah.
And it just makes things awkward when I.
So maybe I won't.
Can you say that?
Maybe I won't eat it. I'll just like.
No, your levels are good.
Okay, cool.
Thank you for being concerned with that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to like talk the whole time, and it's like clipping.
Well, there's new. Oh, dude, I could go on about this thing, but it saved my ass because it records like essentially, from where I'm coming from, a raw type of format, 32-bit float, which allows me to be very flexible in manipulating the sound output. So
nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, not to geek out anymore, but yeah,
no, it's okay.
Drums.
Wait, what did you?
I asked you like what gave you the idea? Like, hey, I can play drums. This is what I want to do.
I don't know. I think I just had the like young kid thing of like I want to play drums.
Yeah.
And then I eventually got a drum set, and I think I was taking lessons at Austin School of Music.
Okay.
And it's kind of weird. I've told this story to a few people before, but I was taking drum lessons there, and I saw an ad like on the board for like band looking for drummer, here's our influences and all that, and I randomly called it and then like met these guys. They all went to Austin High. This was my first band. I think we were called the Officers back then.
It's a fun name.
Yeah. So I like took a chance and like called this ad and met these guys, and that was my first band, and through them is how I met the guys in the Steps. And so it was kind of this group of Austin High kids who are like kind of still my friends to this day. And I feel like it's strange because I feel like that was just like a window, a portal into my musical life, which is really weird. And that was a long time ago.
Yeah. So do you remember the moment you met Evan?
Yeah. For us, I think that it's like a famous, I think we, both our bands, the Steps and the Days, played our first show at like the Tony Burger Center.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a random, I don't know, some event or like farmer's market or something. And I think that I'll have to ask Evan later today.
I'll have him on and we'll coordinate
there
the
we
stories.
go. Yes, exactly. We'll see if our stories line up.
Yeah.
I think they might. But I think that was when we both played a show together, and I think we first met. And I probably was like, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah.
Like, this town ain't big enough for the both of us. But Evan was really nice, and they were really nice. Evan, Chris, and Aaron. And yeah, I think that's where we first met. And
okay.
I'm sure we played other shows together as well. You know, two young rock and roll bands in Austin in 2006 or something.
What was the like musical landscape back then in that time?
In Austin?
Yeah. I wasn't I didn't get here till 2011, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is still a good time, maybe the tail end of that.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. It felt, obviously it was a smaller town, and and that time in music felt more doable, and it was like the MySpace era.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like pre-YouTube, like just about, so
Yeah.
it was weird. I mean, we were playing lots of shows and like house parties, and we would throw all these shows called bridge shows, and we'd play on the Lamar pedestrian bridge, and like all these kids would come out and everybody would get drunk and we'd play, and that was just kind of like a funny.
You guys didn't get kicked out?
Maybe a couple times, but I remember the cops would come sometimes and they would kind of just like let us do it.
Really?
Yeah. And so in that sense, I feel like I'm sure that stuff's happening still, but it felt like a very like.
I've turned down a gig or two to go film at the pedestrian bridge just because I'm like, there's a high probability you're gonna get kicked out. And when in truth be told, I just didn't want to go do it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? The cops might come and it just might be a wasted effort.
Yeah. They're still doing that?
I think so.
Oh
well, they're
God.
DJs now, but
DJs.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, fuck.
I know. We don't talk about them. Sorry,
Jeez
Ganimal and
Louise.
Vincent Atone.
Yeah,
Don't listen to this. Yeah. So wow, what a time to grow up.
Yeah.
Did you play sports in high school at all?
I played soccer. Mostly soccer.
I was thinking about this the other day. The upperclassmen in my sports teams were just fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Like the shower rooms alone were just a wild. I didn't want to shower, not because like I was afraid to. I was afraid to. I'm like, you guys are like doing gross things.
I don't even think I did that. So
yeah, and that also got me thinking. Like, we had it unfair. I don't know how you guys had your showers, but we had a pole and like 9 shower heads around it, and it was just like,
yeah, it's kind of weird.
It is weird, and like I was talking to my wife about it, and she goes, "Yeah, we had like stalls." I go, "That's so messed up. Like, we had a shower like cattle, and you guys got stalls."
Yeah, it is a little odd when you think about it. Not that I'm scared of that or anything.
Well, I'm scared now. If I have a kid, I'm like, yeah, if you want to shower here, please don't like feel. Yeah. It's just It was so weird. I don't know how they're doing it these days.
Very like prison like.
It is. And I don't know. It just got me thinking, like, man, what a weird thing to do for. All the hormones are going through all the guys, and they just it's weird.
Young children showering together is a little odd.
It is, yeah. Anyways, played soccer. What do you still play soccer now, or what else do you do with your time instead of playing bass?
I was playing. I played soccer in high school, and then I was playing a little bit when I was like 25, 26. I haven't played in a long time, and I feel like I'm gonna like get hurt or tear my ACL or something.
Yeah, that's part of getting old.
But I play a lot of tennis now.
Oh, okay.
And I
not
love
pickleball.
Tennis. Actually, I played pickleball yesterday.
Yeah.
I started playing pickleball as well, only because sometimes my tennis partners are unavailable, and then so it's kind of like a last resort. But I have been enjoying it.
Okay.
Yes.
Dude, tennis, that's a really hard game to pick up.
Yeah.
I remember in college trying to play the game, and I go, this sucks. I can't hit the ball where shit. Well, I can't hit it in the proper place to play the game properly. Don't get me wrong. I could Ken Griffey over the fence, but
there you
I'm
go.
not gonna
home run.
Yeah,
it is a pretty steep learning curve. I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah, I picked it up in 2020 and kind of felt like naturally was okay at it, and then I started playing with a buddy and just got obsessed. And obviously, it was like a weird time, and everybody. It was a good way to get outside, and I was exercising, and it was just like it's kind of like a Zen meditation moment for me, and I've just been trying to improve, and you only need one other person to play, like you don't need like full team to play like when you play soccer or something. So
does that I don't know, does that help your performance in playing your instrument at all? Do you think?
I don't know.
There's a lot of forehand going on and backhands, like does that help build the muscles in your forearms? I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just more sore when I'm playing. But sometimes I'll play tennis on the road, which is really fun, and it's like a perfect day is to wake up, go play tennis, shower, sound check, and then play a show. It's like my perfect day. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I go from seeing you play with the Sweet Nothing.
Yeah.
Flash forward to you playing with Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
How? Fill in that gap of 10 years for me.
Okay, from Sweet Nothing, which is probably 2012, 2013. I don't know. I was playing bass. I guess I was playing bass and doing random gigs in between then. Like, who knows? I don't even know what I was doing when I was 25, 26. And then, how did I meet Matt? My friend Brendan was playing with Matt, and he was playing bass with Matt, Brendan Bond.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started playing shows with Matt, and we did some touring.
It was just more like hey, this guy plays bass, and Matt probably needed a fill-in.
Yeah, I think maybe Brendan needed a sub, or Matt needed somebody for a tour. And it was just kind of a thing, like, I was surprised I hadn't met Matt beforehand because we have all these mutual friends and everything. And and then, of course, when we met, it just made sense.
Yeah.
And I love playing with Matt. I love his music, and it's just like full rock and roll, and and he's a great songwriter. And I kind of always loved Delta Spirit, and so playing with him was great. And then that's
At the time when I was listening to Middle Brother, I'm like, oh, who's this Matthew Logan Vasquez? Let me check him out. I'm like, oh shit, he's Delta Spirit. Okay, that was a really, I don't know, dumb moment for me. I'm like, I should have known that. But anyways.
No, it makes sense. So I was playing with Matt, and when the Middle Brother did their show in 2021, I think, at Newport. He got me on the gig, and that's actually where I met Taylor and Griffin.
Oh, man.
Crazily.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Do you think they'll ever do like another Middle Brother
I don't know.
album? Because I wish they would.
I don't know. I love that record, and
Yeah.
it's obviously a classic. I'm not sure. That's a question for those dudes. But it kind of seems like it was its thing, and it will live like
just
that.
let it be.
Yeah, but I love that record, and a lot of people do.
It's like, I don't know, it's like just some things need to be rest as is.
Yeah.
Like, let's not make another Dumb and Dumber movie.
Right.
That first one was just a classic.
Right.
And
It's true.
why try to capitalize on something that's just a perfect piece of art?
It's true.
Like Dumb and Dumber.
And I have a feeling, I think that might be that.
Okay.
But I don't know. But
what's really grinding your gears in the movie scene, if anything?
in the movie scene?
Yeah. Because what's grinding my gears is them trying to remake all these great movies that they're just ruining.
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber being one of them. Point Break was another one for me that really upset me. I'm like, why would you even touch that movie?
Yeah.
Gladiator, like that was a flop.
I haven't seen the second one. Is it bad?
I didn't like it. It was terrible.
Yeah, maybe I should watch it.
I was just kind of tuning in and out on the plane, but it was just. And then my wife watched, and she's like, "That movie sucked." I'm like, "Yeah, it kind of did, right?"
I need to check it out.
Okay.
I don't know. I was never big into like the comics or the Marvel stuff, so I feel like they were like doing that a lot.
They are,
which kind of like I just wasn't interested in, I guess. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel? I posted this question. You may have saw it, but are you a room temp or a water room temp guy, or do you like ice in your water?
I like both, and it depends.
I will give the people that say they like room temp, because some of them were like, yeah, we just didn't have ice growing up, so it's like we just had to get used to it. I go, okay, that's respectable. You're not a psychopath. But on hot summer days, like, well, not today. Well, I guess today it's a little humid. Just nothing better than a cold glass of ice water.
Yeah, it's true. I think it depends on the context. Like, my house gets pretty hot. I only have window units, so that's definitely an ice water situation.
Sure.
But like on the airplane, when they just give you the little cup and they ask for ice, I'm like, just no ice, please. And then you get more water.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. So it depends.
When you fly, do you normally fly? Is there a specific airline you like? I'm a Southwest guy.
This is a good question. I used to fly Southwest all the time, but lately I've been flying American a lot.
Okay.
But I also just flew Delta, and I kind of think they're the best.
I've heard good things about Delta. Why did you stop doing Southwest? Because they have the bags fly free, and
well, not anymore.
I know, but that was one of the main reasons why one of the artists that I work with, Vincent Antone, he was like, "Yeah, I love Southwest because of the bags fly free." He's traveling with his guitar and whatnot.
I know.
So what is it about Delta that you like?
I don't know. They got the TVs there. The Wi-Fi is free.
Okay.
Which I just realized, which was pretty good.
Well, I'm sure it's like wrapped up into the ticket cost.
Well, if you're a Sky Miles member, it's free.
Okay,
but maybe it is. But I don't know. Yeah, so I was flying Southwest a lot, but I haven't. I don't know if maybe I have flown since they changed their policy or whatever. So
okay,
I don't know. I just kind of like Delta. It's kind of vibey.
All right, I respect that. My wife just encountered, since I love Southwest, because one, I got the companion pass.
Oh, that's good.
You're familiar, right?
Yeah, I've never had it.
Okay, for those that are not familiar, you earn a certain amount of points, and then you get to pick a partner, and they fly with you for $5, whatever the fees are. And so I was working with Vincent Antone, and he was taking me to each of his shows. So we'd fly Southwest, and I'd bring my wife along. And so on our flight to Seattle, I brought her along, but she likes the aisle. I like the window. Mm-hmm. There was an incident where the plane was full, and so I have my window seat. She has her aisle seat. There was a rather large gentleman approaching us towards the back.
Yep.
And he sat in the middle because, you snooze, you lose. That's what it is. And then the flight attendant came to us, me and my wife as a couple, and they're like, would you guys like to sit with each other? I go, no, I don't. I want to sit in this window seat. And my wife, being the sweetheart angel that she is, she was like, in her mind, she's like, no, I don't. But she said, yeah, that's fine. That would be great. And so the flight attendant made us sit together. And so the larger gentleman had the aisle seat and my wife had the middle seat, and the guy kept profusely thanking the flight attendant for making that situation happen.
Oh, wow.
Meanwhile, my wife is up on me, which I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah.
But the larger gentleman was definitely spilling onto her side. And I go, see, this is why you next time you learned your lesson. So next time hold your ground.
Yeah.
Because that shit sucks.
Yeah. No, people get weird on airplanes. It's kind of
right.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now I do see the point of picking your own seats prior to the plane flight.
Yes.
That's beneficial.
I do like that.
But I don't know. I'm just a Southwest guy, and it doesn't make any difference to me. So I was like, I'm just gonna get my window seat.
I still like Southwest. I mean, now it seems like with their policy changes, it's kind of they're kind of the same as other airlines. So absolutely. I feel like they lose that advantage where it's like, oh, my bags are free, this and that, but I still like them.
Yeah, they are. I think they are going to. You're going to have to pick your own seats before you get on the plane. So I think that'll solve.
I think it's a good thing.
I think so too. Now that I've seen and experienced the downside of it.
Yeah, and that boarding process is just. Everybody's like, oh, which number are you?
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, dude,
yeah,
I don't want to talk to you. Sorry.
Are you pre-checked?
Oh yeah.
How do you live a life without doing pre-check? It makes a world of difference.
Oh, it's the greatest thing that's ever happened.
I wasn't a believer until all of my friends made fun of me when we were on a golf trip one time, and they just went right through security, and I had to take my shoes off. And that's another thing. Like the people who go through regular security screening with just sandals, I'm like, ew.
Yeah,
that's a statement.
I don't know why people do that.
I don't know either. I think that's pretty gross.
It's very gross.
All the foot trackage from our shoes are just right then and there.
I mean, I don't even think you should wear sandals anywhere unless you're at the beach or the pool.
For sure. Just go ahead and put these away.
No, you're good. You're at home. You're at home, the beach, or the pool. But definitely not the airport or the airplane, please.
What has been some of your favorite places that you traveled because of your career?
Oh, man. Anyone that knows me will know that I'm going to say Japan.
Okay.
So I was lucky enough to go with the Steps in 2008. And then I went back with Dawes in 2023 to play some shows with them. And so I think Japan is kind of the top of the list. We recently just played in Mexico, which was fun. A good festival down there.
What part of Mexico? Mexico City?
Cabo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a little resorty, but it was fun. But it was my first time down there, and
doesn't Jimmy Buffett have a bar in Cabo, or is
I think
that
so?
Okay?
Or well, he probably does, or Sammy Hagar.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's Sammy
Cabo
Hagar.
Wabo.
Yeah.
I do want to go to Mexico City though, so that's definitely.
I've heard a lot of good things. Friends have been. They're like the cuisine there is fantastic, and it's really affordable. So I'm like, all right, cool. Maybe we'll make a trip down there. What is your favorite thing about traveling?
Ooh, good question.
And what is your worst? What is the worst thing about traveling?
Favorite thing about traveling? I don't know. I like just being on the move and seeing new places and eating food. Eating food is good.
I know Taco Bell is on my cuisine list for late night snacks after a show.
Mm-hmm.
What's y'all's go-to food? Do you keep it healthy or do you binge out?
It depends. Sometimes our TM Tyler will have pizza for us, which is not very healthy, after show pizza.
But it's still fun. You can't go wrong with a slice of pepperoni.
It's true. I try not to eat too late, but sometimes I do. But we eat pretty well on the road, and I love to have a nice pre-show meal and maybe a glass of sparkling rosé and oysters or something. But
wow, Mr. Big Time over
here.
No,
hey, that's not all
doing
the time.
some oyster shooters.
But that's the joy of traveling.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
being somewhere, I don't know, like Charleston or something, and then having
I'm a
some
bit
oysters
of
and wine.
I'm a bit of a early riser, so I always try to find a good like greasy spoon in the morning. Just get some coffee and some pancakes and just fill up for whatever show we're going to next.
Yeah.
So I think that's my thing. That's where I like to spend my money. But for the most part, it's just bags of chips.
There you go.
Some DC. I try to fill up on water just to like stay full.
You got to do it.
That'll help, curb the appetite. But man, those late night munchies are awesome.
Yeah.
Doritos and Cheetos.
Yep.
Eating like a 15. Although I will say I'll wake up with massive heartburn. Yeah.
I like.
When did that shit happen? Like I used to be able to crush bags of hot Cheetos and not feel anything.
I don't know, man.
Sucks getting old.
Well,
dude.
so are you a? Do you eat first thing in the morning?
I do. I try to. Sometimes I'll be editing here and I'll like, I'm working on a project, and then before I know it, it's like 12 o'clock. I'm like, shit, it's already lunch. So I try to eat in the morning.
Nice. That's good. Sometimes I kind of wait, sort of try to fast, I guess, and I'll wait and like maybe eat around 12 or 1 or 2. But sometimes you got to eat in the morning.
Yep.
And you feel weird if you don't.
You got to fill that belly because it's hungry. It's hangry. And then I get
blood
hangry.
Sugar starts getting weird if you don't. And then especially if you're hungover, and then you like if I'm hungover, I definitely have to eat like something right away, greasy as well.
Some beef ass tacos always hit the spot.
Beef ass tacos
when you're hungover.
That's right.
One thing I did learn is to not eat barbecue before doing anything active.
No.
That is the worst thing you can serve to anybody before
Absolutely
trying to go on set or just go do a job. Working weddings was always, it sucked when they had barbecue. I'm like, dude, I'm just going to get tired after I munch this because I'm not going to turn it down.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the brisket in my belly.
I feel like I feel like some of my friends, it's like a common joke or something where it's like, you're always at a festival and they're like, we got some barbecue for you boys. And you're like, I can't fucking eat that before I go on stage. Like, are you kidding me?
What are you doing to me?
Maybe here in Texas that's more common, but.
So as you kind of progressed in your career, has there been like an elevated sense of, I guess, pressure, in that you're performing with bigger artists and the stages are getting bigger and the audience are getting bigger? Is there a sense of pressure to constantly perform and not miss a note?
It's a good question. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Playing with Dawes, like they're just incredible musicians, and so I feel like the bar is pretty high, and I try to do my best to, stay on top of it. And so I think there is that at a certain point. It kind of depends on the gig, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But, some gigs are like whatever, like loosey-goosey, and there's a little bit of that too. But yeah, I think it depends on the people. And
now in certain moments of any job, there's like there might be a point where I miss a shot. And that kind of just snowballs into me like messing up another shot, or I forgot the tripod at this location.
Yeah.
Are there ever moments like that when you're either on tour or performing, like you miss a note and that kind of spirals? And if it does, like what do you do to kind of reel yourself back in? Like, hey, I'm a professional. I earned my way to be here.
Yeah, I feel like that does happen sometimes, but it's maybe more of a personal thing, and I don't even think anybody would notice. But
you notice, right?
But I notice, and maybe it kind of throws me off a little bit, or like I'll feel like if we come out swinging and the show's going really well, and then I miss something, it kind of like throws me off, and then I'm like, I'm not as like cool as I thought I was. But like I said, I don't think anybody notices those things really. So, so if I remember that, then it's like it's okay. It doesn't matter.
Have you been in the recording studio with any artist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
How much of your influence are you contributing to the band? Like, are they receptive of your musical notes, of your performance, of your ideas, or are you just kind of like in the background, just playing alongside them?
Just in general?
Yeah,
or
just in general.
With any band?
Yeah, with any band.
I love being in the studio and making records, and I feel like most sessions I've done or artists I've played with are very like, do your thing, man. Like this is why you're here, and
they hired you for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I haven't been in a situation where it was very like, you need to do this, I want you to do this or that. So I guess I've been fortunate in that sense. I can kind of just do my thing.
So collaboration is key when you're in the studio, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love collaborating and just working on things with other people and musicians and stuff. And
Have you ever written your own songs and put them out there? Haven't checked, but
yeah,
I would like to know.
No, I don't have anything really released under my name or anything, but I've co-written with some folks and with a letdown too, where Evan and I are kind of co-writing, and he's helping me finish some stuff.
Dude, you got to put more songs out. That single, don't say it. It's just on a string.
On a string.
It's been on repeat, and so I'm excited for more music to come out of you guys. So hurry the hell up.
Yeah,
Evan.
I think we're releasing another one on that July 26th show. But yeah, we'll have more music, and I think we're gonna record more. Probably do a full album, but it's been good at collaborating with Evan and them, and so I've been able to get like some of my songs and song ideas out through that, which is cool.
I think that's one thing of being more involved in the music process. I'm understanding how long it takes to record a song, because when I grew up, I was buying CDs. I'm like, oh, the new 311 album just came out. Let me go get that. And then, I don't know, it seemed like time would just fly by, and then the next album would come out, and I go get that. But it's for some reason in my head, like 2 years ago, I was like, with new technology, that should mean like music should come out faster. And then I started working with real musicians. I'm like, oh, it's not that easy. It's like there's an entire process.
True.
So do you feel like technology has hurt or helped the recording process?
I don't know. Are we talking about AI or something?
Sure. Let's talk about AI.
Well, that's a whole thing. I don't even... That's a whole different story, and I feel like that's not good, especially with this like AI fucking band or whatever.
I heard I saw something like that online. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
No, it's insane and dark and horrible, and fuck that. But aside from
true
AI, whatever, I feel like technology is good, and I feel like a lot of studios are still like kind of old school, and you maybe even want that older technology, but I think all that stuff is good and fine.
But like back in the day, you're recording to tape or whatever, reel to reel.
Yeah.
And so now in the process, like if you flub a bass line, you can just punch it in and redo that part.
Yeah, which is good.
So that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Okay.
I think, but with this batch of songs that the Letdown just did, we recorded on tape. So there was no fixing. So you had to get it right, which is like, of course, the old school method of doing it, and so like we chose to do that, but I think it's good to have the option to not do it that way,
right.
and make things hi-fi and perfect and poppy and cool, so it just kind of depends on what you want, I guess.
Now, you recorded reel to reel, but I'm going to listen to it on my cell phone. Is there any, I don't know, bad things about that?
I don't know. I feel like if you have headphones or like some nice speakers, it's fine. But I feel like you do lose some of that fidelity naturally, like when you're doing tape stuff, and it's not as like popping off the speakers, and it's like warmer. But I guess that's kind of what you go for. But yeah, it is odd that you do all that and then it's just like on the phone.
Because I'm coming from like I'm phrasing this from like a photography standpoint. I know people who shoot on film, but yet they're uploading to Instagram, and I'm like, if you're gonna pay that, because film is expensive to process, and it's there's a labor of love in that too. I feel like if you're gonna shoot on film, it'd be best to print it out, put it on a wall, put it in an art show. But I don't understand that. To me, that just doesn't make sense to put those things together. Do the analog format and then put it to a digital format. It's like, if there's only a capitalistic way to make that thing to be heard in person or be seen in person when you're thinking about photography.
Totally.
But that's just we're going down the rabbit hole of you need to get people out to venues, and that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. No, I was actually talking to somebody about that, and like the loss of the physical medium, whether it's music, vinyl, or like film or photography, you know. So yeah, I'm totally with you on that.
And on the other side of that is like, because we have these devices to take photos or consume audio or visuals aspect, like that gives more opportunities for any artist in any respective, art to be seen, to be heard, to have their music enjoyed. And so that's kind of the other side of things.
Yeah, especially the AI artists and bands.
Dude, it is scary what I'm seeing from a video aspect of AI. Like, they're taking jokes, concepts, and they're creating sketches out of it just like that. And that is wild.
It's weird, and I don't think it's a good thing. And what are they're calling like AI slop? It's like just like.
So, what in your head have you thought of, like, how do we curb this? How do we do this? How do we confront and battle this
I don't know.
Tool?
I try not to think about it, but that's probably a bad point of view. I feel like people will still like recognize that, and people still have a genuine like want or need for like authentic things, authentic music, authentic art, and stuff made by humans. So I'm hoping that's true and stays true, so.
Yeah, it's hard to not have a defeatist sense of things. And so my mind is just like, all right, that's my competition. That's who I'm competing against.
Especially for like a digital or an artist like you. Yeah.
Right. I've in my younger
visual artist.
Yeah, in my younger days I was like, all right, fuck that photographer cuz his shit sucks. I could do way better work than he can. And that was just my own insecurities about like, deep down my work was nowhere near as good as that artist or that photographer.
Yeah.
So now it's just like, instead of putting all that competitive energy into trying to compete with other photographers, videographers, now my mindset is just be better than AI. Like, try to think how you can be a better service to AI. Because I saw some photos from people who took headshots. It was from this lawyer. I was working at a conference, and he put up his headshots, and it was on a projector screen, and I go, oh, fuck, that looks really good. Like, we might be in trouble here. But my counterpoint to that was like, I'm in this conference taking photos of real human beings that are in a conference, and my job is to make sure that they look happy at this conference. So that's like my point of, okay, yeah, that's a portrait shop, but there's other services. There's other photos that need to be taken for marketing purposes and all that stuff. So that's how I'm trying to wrap my head around AI and compete against them.
Right. Yeah, it's weird, man. Well, I guess we'll see how it plays out. Like, I don't know. It's weird. You can be in the studio and like we were at Jonas's, and he was like, dude, look at this program, and he just like presses a thing, and it like creates a whole track that like sounds kind of good. I mean, it sounds weird and bad, but like, it's like, whoa, like some people might not even know the difference. Another
thing from that lawyer conference that I was at, one of the judges who was there representing or speaking at an event, he was like, AI doesn't have empathy. It's not a human person. Even though it might give out human responses, it just doesn't have the ability to think like a human. Right. And so I think for that kind of was very comforting in knowing that it's okay. Yeah, it can do a lot of cool stuff and help you out and help you cut corners that are mind-numbingly boring, but it's never going to be a real human. And so therefore, like, we have that going for us.
Yeah, that is true. And it's reassuring. And I think that is the case. So.
Yeah. What do you want to do with your career?
Ooh. That's a good question.
What is this all going to turn into? Because I've been thinking about that too, and I don't have an answer for it.
Oh man. That's a great question. I love touring. I love playing live. I love working with artists and bands. I like doing sessions. I like playing on records. I like collaborating that way. It's a weird world. It's a weird life to do. But I guess in my head would just be hopefully having a sustainable living in a sustainable situation where I'm playing sessions, playing on records, and touring and working with, cool artists and playing music that I like and something like that, I guess.
Yeah. That's the I keep thinking of, I want to do this for a long time, but also I don't want to be, well, maybe I do want to be the old creepy guy in the back with the camera filming shows. You know, maybe that's my calling. And,
yeah.
And I don't know if I'm come to terms with being okay with that yet.
Right.
So
yeah.
Because 10 years ago when I was filming weddings, I'm like, am I going to be the old gray guy with the camera on their shoulder with the big obnoxious light? Is that me? Is that my career?
Well, it's coming for all of us.
Yeah,
am I going to be
really
the old aging musician?
Right.
I think it depends on how you make it, and
yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any music photographers that you like or look up to?
No, not specific music photographers. There is this guy online. He has a YouTube channel. He's called Nick Carver. He does like a lot of photos of structures, especially in Southern California. That's where I'm from. So I like his content, and he's someone that I look up to. But he's already established a business and where he's doing print photography, and he's not really, front facing to audiences or potential work. People are coming to him, so he's built that out,
right? And
so I'm trying to tinker around with that idea, like what can I do? I mean, maybe this podcasting thing can blow up into something sustainable, because I like this idea of just having conversations, because I feel like there's a void on the internet with just real conversations that's fun, but also engaging.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the whole point of this is so hopefully that because I'm trying to do it about different people in different industries, but I've been reaching out to musicians because they're always saying yes. When I reach out to a business professional, they got families, they got, their job to worry about. So I get a lot of no's from them, but you guys are, you're pretty wide open during the day. So and I love having these conversations because you guys are doing it. You're sustainable. You're paying your bills with your career. And so if there's some insight that a potential musician who's younger or older is thinking about, taking the jump, I want them to have some sort of understanding of, hey, this is what it takes. This is the work ethic. This is the amount of hours you have to do. This is what you have to do. Shake the hands, play the rhythm. So what are some advice you would give to a potential musician who's thinking about making the jump full time?
Oh, man. I don't know. I feel like I've always kind of thought this and said this. And even when I was younger, I kind of realized that I was like, just kind of say yes to a lot of things, say yes to things that may seem uncomfortable, and just kind of do it. And especially with music and what we do, it's like one thing leads to another. And so I think maybe if you're starting out, like that's what I would say, like just kind of take the weird gig or do the weird thing or play with the weird band, or maybe this like the music is not necessarily what you want to do or something, but you think it might be a good opportunity, so it's like worth trying. Yeah. Because if you say no, it's like nothing's going to happen. So I feel like that applies to anything really. Saying yes is like opening a door, I guess.
Do you want a beer? You want to split a beer with me?
What time is it?
Well, don't look at the time. Sure. I've been. It was really stressful today, and we'll get into that. But tell the folks. I don't know who your favorite sports team is, or I don't know.
My favorite sports team? I don't know. I've been watching tennis. Wimbledon's going on right now.
Oh yeah, how's that going?
Good. There's been some good matches. I don't know. Who are your favorite sports teams?
I don't have a favorite sports team because I don't have the money to afford YouTube TV.
Oh.
That's like $90 a month.
You can stream that shit on Reddit.
I tried.
Sportsurge.net.
Okay.
I think. What do we got here? Thank you.
This is a beer from Pint House Brewing in
nice.
Glasses.
Cheers.
Hey, cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers. Nomadic, please be a sponsor, please. At some point.
Sponsor the pod, please.
Today was kind of, I don't know. I was really frustrated. Wife asked me to run a few errands, and it's just the small little annoying things that got in the way. Like there was dishes in the sink. I had to take care of those first before I could go out.
Yep.
I opened up the fridge. Her salad from her work dinner just automatically fell out of the fridge. I'm just like, fuck this. And then my friend they're celebrating their daughter's first birthday. So I was like, all right, I gotta go get her a present. I found out that she needs pajamas because she's outgrowing them. She's going to be a D1 athlete by the time she's 18. So I go to Target to get her some PJs, and it starts raining. I'm like, this is not good. This sucks. So like now I have to run through the rain, and it starts pouring at Target.
Yeah.
Then I have to go get a vegetable tray for all the parties that we're going to. I'm like, fuck, all right, I'll go to HEB.
Damn.
I wanted to get it at Target, but guess what? Target doesn't have vegetable trays. They also don't have Beyond Meat burgers. So now I have to go to HEB, and HEB's always a fucking fiasco, and it's pouring rain. And then I forgot, oh man, I need a bag for the gifts. So I go to HEB, get the bag. I'm like, I don't have the grocery bags. I didn't bring them in. So now I have to carry all this shit out in my arms. Luckily, the cashier was nice enough to give me a plastic bag for the gift bag. Everything else got wet. I come in here, I'm drenched, I'm soaked, I'm pissed. And that was my day.
This was all before 11 a.m.?
This is all before 11 a.m.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I had to send out some invoices. So that was like, I got to do that first because money's a thing.
Yes. Oh, man.
And I don't know why I didn't offer you beer earlier.
No, it's okay.
I could need one.
I understand the noon beer now. It's funny because I had a bunch of coffee and I was like, I should probably drink water before I go over here, and I didn't. But this will work.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's a stressful thing running a business. What's stressful about being a musician?
Oh, man.
How much time do we have, Ramon?
What is stressful about being a musician? Well, I feel like it depends. It depends on which side of it you're on. Like I have friends that are solely songwriters, and I'm sure they have a set of stressors that are different from mine. Like I'm a, kind of for hire touring musician.
Would you call yourself a hired gun?
Hired gun.
That's so cool.
That's right.
That's the coolest name ever.
Secret Service, baby. So I mean, obviously it's stressful for everybody, but I feel like it depends. So like for me, for anyone who is touring all the time, like I feel like the ups and downs of touring and then being home, or like not knowing when the next thing is or next gig is and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And also just the weird thing about playing music, and I guess if you're not, I'm a songwriter but it's not like my main thing, and I kind of rely on working with other people and collaborating and getting hired for whatever sessions or tours.
Yeah.
So I feel like for me, sometimes I'm like, God, it's weird. Like the input for music, like the input of what you put in isn't always like equal to the output, or like what you put in isn't, you don't always get it back or something. It's hard to quantify like what you get back. Like say if you're like, oh, I'm going to be a lawyer, so I'm going to like go to school and do this and put all this work in, and then I know I'll have like a thing that comes back. I'll have a job. I'll have some security. So that's the thing that generally seems kind of stressful for music. It's like, well, I'm going to put in all this time and all this work, and it's like, I don't know what I'm going to get back from it. Maybe some sort of fulfillment or something, but yeah, I think the ups and downs of being on tour, not being on tour, and just, that's the way it is though. I know I feel like Matt Vasquez always said it's like being a seasonal fisherman. It's like, okay, I'm going to go work for a couple months and then I'll be home and might not be working as much, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also, you kind of have to create the opportunities for yourself in order to stay sustainable. I know, you know Reed, right?
Yeah, I do. I do know Reed.
You played with him.
Yeah. True.
So he wanted me to film one of his shows at Arlen Studios, and I'm like, let's create a documentary out of this. And so I needed some extra footage of him at Armadillo Den.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, it's right down the street. Why not go there? And I did it because I knew the project needed more footage of him.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't going to charge him anything for like a shoot fee. It was just like, hey, this needs to happen, so I'm going to do it. And in the process of that, while during the downtime of his set, I was talking to one of his friends there, and it turned out he worked for Texas Monthly, and so because I went to Reed's show and got extra footage of him, I was able to network essentially with, a pretty important person.
Yeah.
And that led to work with Texas Monthly.
Yeah.
So to your point, yeah, you need to go above and beyond in this sort of artistic realm to make projects happen.
Yes, true.
And
very true.
To your point, you don't know what's going to happen, but I guarantee you I'm not going to be working with Texas Monthly if I don't go, film Reed. So
right.
Yeah, it's about creating those opportunities for yourself.
And
even
saying
though
yes,
yes,
it's kind of what I meant.
Yeah,
exactly. So
and doing, how many free shows have you played, or how many shows have you played where they didn't pay you anything or just
a lot?
Yeah.
I mean, especially when I was younger, Well, it depends, because I was in bands,
right?
And then I kind of made the transition to for hire stuff,
right?
But yeah. Tons of shows.
Yeah, but I mean, you were working on your craft, and that's kind of how I look at it now. Is if I'll still do stuff for free, but it has to be interesting, and
yeah, right.
It has to fill some sort of. If it's not going to fill my pocket, then it needs to fill some sort of artistic endeavor.
Yeah, right.
And so I know a lot of people online will say never work for free, but man, sometimes you got to.
Yeah, there's a line and I feel like you can see. Oh, maybe this will benefit me in a certain way, or yeah.
Yeah. When you're on tour, are tensions pretty high towards the end of it? Are you guys getting sick of each other, or is it just, we're friends? It's fine.
I think it depends on who you're with, but currently and recently, no, I feel like it's been really fun touring with these guys, and feels like a nice family, and everybody is pro and happy, and
so they're seasoned. They already know what to. Okay,
yeah, for sure.
Right.
But I've been on tours that are just fucking horrible, and everybody's pissed off, and it's just bad. So it's nice, man, to be able to play music and work with people that at a high level, and everybody's in a good mood. There's moments you have your ups and downs, but it's funny. I feel like when I come home from tour, I feel like, and I look back on it, I feel like it's like we all went to space together or something, and we came back and we have this shared thing that nobody else experienced, and it's like, yeah, we did that. That was kind of crazy.
So when you are on tour, is there a sense of longing to be home, and then when you're home, is there a sense of longing to go back on tour?
Yes. I like being on the road, so sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I was home, but when I'm home, I would rather kind of be out on tour, but that's just me, and I don't have kids or anything, so it's different for a lot of people.
Kids is another story, man.
Yeah.
Do
you have any kids?
No. No.
Yeah.
I keep telling everybody we're in negotiations. Kids are very scary.
Yes.
Just
legal liability.
Yeah, exactly. And
financial liability.
Dude, that's the biggest thing. I mean, if money was an option, sure, I'd have 3, 4, 5 kids. But man, those guys sure like to consume a lot of money. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
And I'm always asking parents or my friends who do have kids, I'm constantly asking them questions like, "What was it like?" And I mean, the honest truth is, it sucks. It sucks. When they're newborns, you're taking care of them 24/7.
Yeah.
And I always remember this quote from Evan Lopez, a comedian who I had on here. He was like, "You don't know how much time you have until you have a kid." And then it just dwindles down, and you become much more productive and effective. And I go, yeah, that's nice, but I still like being lazy and watching YouTube videos late at night and not having to worry about anything.
Right.
And you're like, yeah, well, that's part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, kids is I'm not ready for those responsibles. Not yet.
Yeah.
I'm having too much fun right now.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, you got to do your thing, and when you're ready, I guess.
So I have this, I don't know if it's like a hot topic question, but since you've played with a guy, I want to ask your opinion. Mm-hmm. Well, not played with him. You're you're kind of closely associated with him. Jack White put on 2 shows here in Austin in June, I believe. He had his show at, I think it was a Mohawk, and then he had a surprise show at Continental Club. Mm-hmm. Now, Continental Club was kind of spontaneous, but yet the ticket price was the same for the Mohawk experience. in my opinion, I thought he should have thrown us a bone and done it for like, hey, the first however many people we can sell out the show, let's do it for $10-$20, whatever the case may be. But he charged the same price. What's your take on it?
On charging the same price?
Yeah.
I don't know. Was it a crazy ticket price?
It was $150.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
For both shows.
For both shows. I could understand the level, that price point for the Mohawk. But Continental Club on a Tuesday afternoon, 11 a.m., I felt like, man, because I was free. Oh, because I'm free, because I'm a artiste and I'm an entrepreneur.
There you go.
But I was like, I can't do that. I can't spend that amount of money.
Man, that's a little high for a club show.
Yeah.
At both of those venues. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it would be cool if it was like, $20.
Sure.
That I get that, but I also understand people paid it, so it's
I know if there's a market, people will pay it. I understand.
That's crazy though for Continental Club, $150.
It was, and I was like, dude,
it's a little odd.
Yeah, I love him as an artist. I grew up listening to him, and I don't know if I were ever. I hope one day to be that big to where I'd be like, oh fuck it, come in for free.
Yeah.
I would hope that I would be able to just, throw my audience a bone and, do them a solid and be like, hey, whoever can first come, first serve, get in.
I kind of agree with that. Like, especially if you do the one show that's a high ticket price and then you could like throw a bone. But,
right.
But I also know that it's insanely expensive to tour or do anything. So it's okay.
I'll give them that too.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know your personal take on it as a working touring musician.
Yeah.
And what kind of led me to believe that my opinion is right is one of my favorite comedians, Shane Gillis. He has this series called Tires. Are you familiar?
Yeah, I've only watched like one episode.
Okay. Well, he's a big comedian. He's grown.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's super huge.
Yeah.
And so on his season 2 release, he did a premiere at the Paramount. Guess how much tickets were?
I don't know, $50.
$0.
Oh, wow.
$0. And I'm like, he's the fucking man for that. Then so I was able to grab 2 tickets for me and my wife. And so we get to the venue and then we go through security, we get in the doors and there's an usher handing us 2 tickets. I go, what's this for? She goes, oh, it's for beers for Bud Light. I'm like, are you fucking kidding? And they were the tall boys. And so, we got the 2 tickets. My wife gave me hers because she wasn't drinking that night. So I had 2 tall boys. I was double fisting.
Free tickets to the show and free beers.
And then we sat down and there was another gentleman handing out more drink tickets. And so my wife got one, I got one. I'm like, babe, when you go to the bathroom, bring back 2 more beers. So it made me understand that specific art, Shane, he understands what like his worth. He understands, his audience. Like, I don't know. He just threw us he could have charged $50 a ticket just for that premiere alone.
Yeah.
He could have kept the beer prices as is, but I'm pretty sure he fronted the cost of everything because he wanted people to have a good time, and that's why I love him. Right. He's awesome. So
maybe that was a special like promo situation. Sure.
Marketing tactic, whatever. Either way, we got to see the 3 episodes before it was released, and I was fanboying out. I was like, "Oh my God,
that's
Lauren,
cool.
He's the best. I fucking love him."
Well, he's got low overhead though.
I
comedian.
know that's another thing that I thought of.
You just need
and
a mic, and then that's your load in. It's good.
Yeah, so that was a cool experience, but yeah, it's just I really appreciate when artists think about their audience and like, hey, we'll do shit for free. So cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Who have been some of your major musical influences throughout your career?
Just generally?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. I mean, it depends. I kind of grew up in the, like, mid-2000s, so I was very into that garage rock, like The Strokes and all those bands, The Hives and some British bands and stuff. So that's kind of my thing growing up. And but a lot of my friends inspire me and people I work with, like Matt or the Dawes guys. And but I kind of came from that like 2000s rock and roll revival thing or
Right.
whatever, but also kind of grew up with the Beatles and stuff like that, and 60s rock and roll and the Kinks and stuff like that, and yeah.
As Austin has grown, how have you seen the music industry change here, whether it be from live venues to recording studios? Has it grown? Has it suffered?
I don't know if it's grown.
It's stayed the same?
Yeah, or maybe suffered. Like, it's hard to say. Back then when you're asking me, like, or I forgot what you asked, or when I was just talking about being in high school and playing like shows on the bridge, or like playing gigs wherever, Stubbs, emos, it just definitely seems like harder to own and operate a venue, and I mean, I guess that's true for everywhere, so I don't know if that's an Austin thing. But it does seem like, obviously Austin's thing was like live music capital of the world. That's kind of a like 90s, 2000 slogan or whatever. So I feel like it's not really that way anymore. I mean, of course there's tons of amazing artists here, and so I'm not sure. It seems like the scene in Austin now is more like other stuff and like weird tech young people or something.
Yeah.
Or comedy.
Comedy has grown significantly since being here. And that's fun that's a fun thing to go to. Just, there's a lot of comedy shows, and sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not, but that's kind of like with any music show. So we're over an hour now. Only a few more questions.
Flew by.
The time flies by. That's what I keep saying.
Keep going, man.
I like having these conversations because they just go by so quick. What are you doing for your mental health these days?
That's funny you say that, because I was like, oh, this feels like therapy. But I only went to my first therapy thing like the other day.
Really?
So,
okay, good for you, man.
So
that's
very,
awesome.
Very new to me. But before that, I mean, it's hard. It's the only thing that I kind of can do that helps me that is like exercise and play tennis.
Okay.
But I'm trying this whole therapy thing out. So, but it was good. I only had one session, but it was good, and so I don't know. Maybe that'll help out some more. But I feel like exercise is such a good thing and a universal thing.
Yeah.
Just like, it's hard to do sometimes, but and that's why like playing tennis for me is that. Or
right on.
I mean, I hate running, but I'll go do that if I need to.
Fucking sucks. I hate it. I don't
Yeah.
ever want to do that. And so what I do everything else but run.
You got the whole
I got the
here?
gym. The treadmill thing, that has been super beneficial because it's just, I mean, I could sit down all day and edit, but I need to get up and move my body.
Yeah.
So having that treadmill is so good. Whenever I need a break from editing, I'll put that down and watch whatever is on YouTube. So that's been helpful. But to your point, working out is definitely part of my mental therapy that I'm doing. And I also went to therapy for the first time this year.
Oh, nice.
And my wife was like, "You're not the same person anymore, so you need to go seek help." I'm like, "Whatever, I'm fine." You need to go seek therapy.
Yeah.
And then we had a long conversation. I'm like, "Yeah, you're probably right."
Yeah.
And so in my first therapy session, I was like, "I'm not going to tell this guy anything. I'm going to be a closed book. He's going to have to work to get the info out." And within like the first 3 minutes, I was just crying my eyes out, just like exploding every emotion that was onto me. I'm like, damn, I didn't know you could do that to me.
It's kind of what happened to me.
Yeah.
I just like was spewing out stuff, but it's very new to me. And like, I've gone my whole life like feeling okay and like feeling like I can handle anything or whatever.
Right.
But turns out maybe that's not the case. But it's been, so we'll see. But I think it'll be beneficial.
No, it's not going to hurt you by any means.
Yeah.
So the thing with me, I only had to do like 3 sessions. I'm like, I think I'm good, man.
Really?
He's
Oh,
like,
sweet.
and he goes, "If you don't have anything to talk about, then that means I've done my job, and so I'll be here whenever you need me."
Yeah.
And not a whole lot has. He definitely helped me like reframe things, because my biggest thing was building stories out of nothing. Like if something would go bad, then I just go down this rabbit hole of like, well, it happened because of this and this and this.
Sure.
And chances are none of that was true.
Yeah, I can understand that for sure. I probably do that too.
So he helped me like find out those trigger points, and then I've been utilizing those tools, and I haven't really had the need to go back to therapy, but I'll probably do it towards the end of the year just to, why not, just to feel things out.
Yeah, man.
That's a very, I don't know if that's kind of like a new thing for, I guess, at least me as a man, is no one ever really told me, hey, you should go to therapy. But podcasts are telling me about BetterHelp, and then friends are talking about it.
Right.
My other buddy, Sam, he was like one of the first guys that openly talked about it. He's like, yeah, I've been to therapy. So I'm like, but you seem like you have your life together. And you go, no, I don't. I was going through some emotional trauma, and yeah, it helped out. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah, maybe it's a thing of like getting older too. Like, I don't know. Things are different. Like when I was younger, I was like, whatever, everything's fine. I'll just go drink all night. And sometimes I still do that, but
oh no, it's fun to do that sometimes.
But that like turns out that's not really solving anything.
No,
you're just like sweeping it under the rug.
You are, you're not really facing your fears.
Yeah.
But yeah, how are you feeling about the world these days?
Ooh,
I know it's a big question,
man. I don't know.
Is it weird? Is it because I feel like we have some of the best technology we've ever had to try to solve problems, and we're just still encountering the same issues, at least from like our government is still dealing with the same issues.
Yeah.
Individually, I feel like there's opportunities for you to utilize all these tools that are available. Like, for instance, I take nutrition. I'm trying to take nutrition pretty seriously. So I follow TikTok recipes. They're healthy. I take the ingredients, and then I go to my HEB app. I plug in all the food that I'm going to need. I basically buy the groceries right then and there, and then I go pick it up,
sweet.
And that's it.
I need to do that.
It is so much easier to just follow a recipe. This is what I'm going to eat for the week, and go through that process, and all my food's already prepped and ready within 3 hours,
That's
and I'm
great.
good for the week.
I need to do that.
So I feel like there are tools there to help us individually, but from the world standpoint, it's just like, what the fuck are we doing? This is insane what's happening.
Yes, I agree. It's weird. And I don't know, man. I feel like as far as like news and political stuff, sometimes I'm like kind of checked out,
and I don't think anyone should ever blame me for that, because I'm the same way.
Right. And maybe I'm privileged to say that, but
I don't think so. I think it's a recognition of what you're capable of doing and how to process things.
Yeah.
And trying to process everything that's happening on in the world is not going to serve you.
Yeah. Well, it's just like gotten so crazy and absurd that like it's hard for me to give so much of my energy to like some insane headline or thing. I mean, I still will and I still do, but I'm just trying to live my life and operate in my weird music world. But it's those things are affecting that too, and it's like it's strange. Like we were talking about ticket prices and like touring and the stresses of all that, and it's like I hope people still want to spend money and go see shows, and I think they do.
I think they do. I think they will always do. I think you're providing a service to individuals to get a reprieve from all the craziness in the world, and that's why I think you really have, especially from your perspective, you can't really like dive into that because you're serving a greater purpose to these audiences.
Yeah.
And if you're like not in the right headspace and you can't play those shows, well, they're not those audience members aren't going to get a good show, and they're not going to be able to forget about their problems or the world problems. So
and I have friends and songwriter friends and artists, and they're like, this is weird. Like I feel like what I'm doing is pointless and meaningless for what is going on, and then I'm like, well, art is important, so please continue doing what you do.
All right, brother, I hate to wrap it up quick, but I got a golf tee time here at 1:10, so
sick.
I'm gonna end this now. But Z, I'm so excited that you came out. I'm so excited for your show at Hole in the Wall,
July 26th.
July 26th.
The Letdown.
please tell Evan to come on this podcast because I have so many questions for him as well.
I'll tell him today. I was like surprised he hasn't already, to be honest.
He's denied me. I think he's denied me twice. Not because he said he didn't want to, but because he's had other obligations.
Yeah,
Evan,
I'll tell him today.
You're next.
I actually already told him I was the other day.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll light a fire under his ass. But
there you go.
anyways, dude, thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day and keep on playing music.
Hell yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace.
God bless.